Hello, we'd like to introduce you to HydroMaster's Boxer 421. As we speak, this is the largest selling truck mount in the world today. It has a 21 horsepower Briggs Vanguard engine with an external oil cooler. Has a number 4005 Tuthill Pneumatics tri-lobe blower. Has an oil bath on each side of it. It has a Comet pump, 3.5 gallon per minute Comet pump. Very simple operation. Throttle cable, choke, ignition switch, vac gauge, pressure gauge, temperature control, and our hour meter. Our chemical flow meter, metering control valve, and our chemical selection valve, and our blower loop port. Pump clutch, diverter valve, auto pump out, and pump in switches. And here we have our pressure regulator, our solution output, our freshwater input, and our water box drain. Over here we have our clean out filters. And here on this side of the machine we have the starter, the main circuit breaker, your coil heat exchanger, and your muffler exhaust system. Here we have the engine oil filter, the blower, the solution pump, the electrical box. You can see all the drain hoses, very easy to get at. The blower itself has a side gauge on either side, so it's very simple to check the oil levels. The primary heat exchanger is right down here. At the rear of the machine, you see the water box, the blower inlet, and the fill ports for the blower oil, and the wiring harness plug for the recovery tank. Every day before you start your Boxer 421, you should take a little bit of time. Check your oil levels, check for oil leaks of any kind, check your belts, wires, and hoses, check for hose abrasion. Look for any problematic areas that you might have. You want to check your blower for oil levels. There's a sight glass on either side. You want to make sure that that oil level is about half full. You also want to check for leaks around your blower. Check your chemical pump daily for any leaks. You want to check your high pressure pump daily also for any leaks, particularly around the base of the pump. Check your oil filter and your oil drain hose for leaks daily. Also check your oil cooler for any possible leaks. You want to check your hoses daily for abrasion and make sure there's no leakage in the plumbing of any kind. You want to check your belts daily. Make sure they're not cracked or glossy. You also want to check your coupler plugs down here to make sure that they're still soft and pliable, not cracked or glossy. Just like with your car, you want to make sure those belts are in good shape. You want to check your oil with a dipstick, just like any engine. You want to check around the engine for any kind of oil leaks you might see. You also want to check the plumbing down here for any possible leakage. Check the high pressure pump oil daily. The sight glass should be half full. There's a little dipstick at the top. You can check the level also. And here we have your 70-gallon standard Boxer waste tank. This is the wiring harness from the truck mount. Pressure relief valve is down here. You open the lid. You have the filter bag or the filter basket. A stainless steel basket comes with the 100-gallon upgrade. Here's your filter that goes directly to the blower. Prior to hooking up your freshwater input, you're going to want to clean the screen out. Check for debris of any kind. Then hook your water. For your information on the freshwater systems, using a garden hose, you have no need for the pump-in switch. If you have a fresh water tank set up, then you are going to want your pump-in switch turned on. That will pump water into your truck mount. If you have your garden hose hooked up, you simply don't need to use your pump-in switch. As with any gasoline engine, to give your first cold start in the morning, you're going to want to pull the choke out, start the engine up, work the choke back in as it's warming up, and give it a few minutes to warm up. Then you're going to want to pull the throttle out, turn it clockwise to lock it. Now if you want to heat it up quicker, all you have to do is load up the blower, cover the vac port, that'll load up the blower, and you'll be ready to go in just a few minutes. When you hook your solution line up, make sure you do that before you turn on the pump clutch, otherwise there'll be too much pressure. To get the proper pressure setting on your solution, you're going to need some appliance setup, whether it's a wand, an upholstery tool, or in this case our rotary dry master. You simply start the solution flow, use the pressure regulator to adjust the pressure. You monitor it on the pressure gauge, set it wherever you'd like it. Your chemical metering system, you're going to want to turn your prime valve to the prime position. You'll see air bubbles through here. You're no doubt using Hydro-Dry, which is blue in color, so you'll see this line fill all the way up with blue. At that point, when the bubbles are gone, simply turn this up to the on position. You're going to want to trigger your appliance, which is either a wand or, in this case, a rotary dry master. Then use the metering valve to adjust the proper flow, but anywhere from 2 to 4 gallons per hour is a standard kind of a setting. Okay, now we'll talk about vacuum a little bit. The vacuum gauge comes preset from the factory at 14 inches of mercury. If you were to cap the vacuum input off, completely block it, it should read around 14 inches. During carpet cleaning, even with the wand on the carpet, it's typically going to read anywhere from 10 to 12 inches of mercury. Okay, now we're going to talk a little bit about temperature and solution for carpet cleaning. It's a very personal matter. Some people like to clean at 220 or 30 degrees. Other people like to clean at about 180. That's going to be your choice, but we're going to talk a little bit about how to set this machine up for you to do just that. Now on your Boxer 421, the first thing you're going to do is turn on your solution pump. That way you're going to get solution in movement. Then you're going to turn on your diverter valve, which sends the exhaust through your heat exchangers and starts heating. And you're going to adjust the temperature control here, for example at 230 degrees. Then you're going to be able to monitor that with your temperature gauge. That temperature will come up as you start your solution inflow. Now if you're doing a water extraction, obviously you don't need your solution, you don't need heat. So you're going to want your pump clutch off, and you're going to want your diverter valve off so you're not pushing hot air through your heat exchangers. For low temperature cleaning like wool or upholstery, you're going to want to keep your pump clutch on, obviously, to have your solution in movement. Then you're going to want to have your diverter valve in the off position. You're going to turn your heat down. If your heat's all the way off and your diverter valve is in the off position, you'll still clean it around 160 degrees at the truck. So you won't clean cold, but you'll clean much cooler for very fine fabrics or natural fabrics. Now if you have an automatic pump out installed, this is the automatic pump out or APO switch. To operate it, simply turn it on. Your automatic pump out will not activate it until your tank's about half full. So if you turn this on and don't immediately get waste out, it's not because it doesn't work, it's because it isn't full enough to have activated. Now we're going to talk a little bit about machine shut down. First thing you're going to want to do is shut off your pump clutch. You're going to want to shut off your diverter valve, turn the temperature down. Then you're going to want to take a petroleum-based lubricant like Pennzoil Z4. Check your manual for different options. Then you're going to want to spray into your vac lube port 3 to 5 seconds. You want to do that while you're under load, while the blower is under load. Let that run for about a minute under load. At that point, unload your blower, down power your machine, let it idle for a couple of minutes, and then you're free to shut it off. Now once you've gone through the procedures and your machine is idling and you're preparing to shut it off, you might want to realize that this machine will not go to zero. It will not get cold on you. You're always going to be at 160 or 70, so just go ahead and shut it down. Cleaning the orifice and filter screen. The frequency of the maintenance of the screen and filters will depend on the condition of the water in your area and if you have a water softener or not. When you get the machine, you should check the orifices about once a week, and after that you can adjust the pace according to the need. It's important to keep the orifice and filter screen clean for proper running of the machine. Remove the screen and run underwater, removing the debris. Remove the orifices with an Allen wrench and poke the buildup free with a toothpick, a bamboo skewer, or soak it in white vinegar and blow the orifice out. Don't use a metal tool to clean out the orifice. Using metal in the orifice can enlarge the hole, decreasing machine performance. Be sure to put the orifices back in the same port they were removed from, as they are different sizes. Might be best even to do these one at a time to avoid that problem. We really need to stress the importance of keeping the orifices clean. If the filter and screen aren't kept clean and water's not allowed to flow back to the water box, your machine will overheat on you. With the unit running, replace the chemical jug with a mixture of 50-50 antifreeze and water. Cover the vacuum inlet to load the blower. Turn the chemical knob to the prime position. Allow the system to prime. Antifreeze will fill the chemical flow meter. Allow the system to run in the prime position for an additional 3 to 5 seconds after the system has primed. Turn the chemical knob to the on position. Connect a tool, like a wand or a rotary dry master, to the front of the machine. Turn the pump clutch switch on. Spray the wand or the RDM for 5 to 10 seconds into a container for proper disposal. Turn the pump clutch switch off. Turn off the chemical system, trapping antifreeze in the chemical flow meter. Disconnect the tool and follow the Boxer 421 freeze guarding steps. Freeze guarding the Boxer 421. To freeze guard the Boxer 421 while the machine is running, turn off the high pressure pump clutch switch. Shut off the chemical feed using the prime on-off valve and drain the water box completely using the valve located on the front of the machine. Pour a jug of antifreeze into the water box. Hook up the freeze guard adapter supplied with the kit to the garden hose adapter. And turn on the pump clutch switch. This will circulate diluted antifreeze through the pump and heat exchangers. Run the machine with the pump clutch on for 3 to 5 minutes. Turn off the pump clutch switch. Disconnect the hose from the machine. Now the machine can be shut down using the normal shutdown procedure. When you go to use the machine next time, be sure to reclaim the antifreeze out of the unit prior to using it to clean carpet. The last thing you want to have to deal with is another biohazard stain on the carpet, one that you put on there yourself. Blower filter and recovery tank. Clean the filter in the tank daily, along with the recovery tank itself. If lint and debris are allowed to build up on the filter, performance will drop and damage to the engine and blower can result.